If you're new to the reptile keeping hobby and you've been doing your research, you've probably encountered the advice that you should not use heat mats. Many people will give vague disclaimers that they're ineffective or even dangerous, but rarely do they go in depth into the science behind those disclaimers. In today's video, I will be explaining the key differences between heat mats and other heating elements. Most commercially available heating elements for reptiles utilize electromagnetic radiation as the method of heat transfer. The wavelengths of radiation can be measured on the IR scale. On the scale, there are three ratings of radiation, with IRA being the shortest wavelength and IRC being the longest. IRA is the rating that is most similar to the sun's heat. IRC wavelengths are much weaker and less effective at penetrating objects. In fact, they are so ineffective that they cannot penetrate deeper than the epidermis, meaning that heat mats, which only produce IRC wavelengths, cannot actually raise the internal body temperature of your reptile. This causes a few issues because reptiles are ectotherms and rely on external heat sources to keep their body functioning. When temperatures start to drop, reptiles' metabolism slows and digestion comes to a halt. Food left in their stomach isn't able to be processed and it can even slowly start to rot in their body. Additionally, because IRC cannot penetrate into a reptile's deep muscle tissue, they never really feel warm, and they will often lay directly over the heat mat for very long periods of time trying to warm their body. This can lead to them getting burns on their belly. If you've ever fallen asleep with a heat pad on, you might have gotten a similar burn. But April, wouldn't they just move off of the heat mat when they got too hot? Unfortunately, no, because they wouldn't actually be able to tell that they're too hot. A reptile's scales are made out of keratin, the same protein your hair and nails are made of, and there are no nerve endings in keratin. Think of it like taking a hot iron to your hair. It doesn't cause you any pain, but if you leave it on for too long, your hair will inevitably fry off. Similarly, a reptile's protective scales will dull the sensation of heat against their body until they've been exposed for so long that it causes severe burns. Remember that it's our responsibility as owners to make sure that our reptiles are living in a safe, controlled environment. This includes making sure that you have proper heating and lighting, not only for your reptile's safety, but so that they can engage in natural behaviors. Freedom to engage in natural behaviors such as basking is what will ultimately lead to the longevity and health of your reptile. All reptile species need access to an appropriate basking spot. Yes, this includes New Caledonian species such as crested geckos. They need to have the option to bask. Just because you don't see your reptile basking doesn't mean that they're not. They could be staying in their hot hide right under the heat lamp, they could be cryptic basking, or they could be coming out at night to soak up the residual heat from slate or branches. Providing your reptile with an appropriate heat spot and heat gradient is not optional, it is obligatory.